Hoobity hoo and how do you do? Let's learn something new about comics. So, welcome to Comic Book Making Club. We are in our week 3. I want you to know that I'm happy you're here. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so that you don't miss anything for making your comic. It's called Comic Book Making is fun, but you don't have to do it alone. I am Cami Cam of Cami Cam Comics, here to share with you, as a published independent comic book artist and writer, how to do it. Where do you start? And how do you know when you got a good product? So in today's video, we're going to be discussing script writing. I just want to say that it's not that hard. There are a lot of details that go in and out of comic book making, but the most important thing to remember is that you can do it because only you can write your stories. So I got notes because I wanted to make sure that I was organized. Turned out to be 3 pages of notes, but I won't hold you. So let's jump into it. We're turning our outline into the script. You have your outline, you have your main points that you want to hit with your story and your character's main goal or objective that they want to reach. Now, there are key things to keep in mind when you're writing your script from outline. You're basically going to stretch out your outline. Take each point and we're going to stretch it out like a piece of taffy, like a piece of gum, and twirl it around our finger and create a whole amazing story. I should have done better, but that's okay. Roll with it. Roll with it, baby. We're here. We're doing it. So, you want to take each plot point in your outline and fill in the gaps of your story. I'm repeating myself. In the opening, really focus on introducing your character and their world. So that first chapter, that first part, the first point should be who and what. Who's the character? What's going on? We'll touch more on that later. Next thing you want to do is focus on how to actually write. You know that there are too many, when I say too many methods of script writing, there's no wrong way to do it. If you're working with an artist, writing more details is better. If you're doing this on your own, you can either write what you want and leave out what you don't need. It's cut, paste, copy, that's it. It can be complicated, but if you have a plan, it can work. There's no secret sauce, there's no special formula, but the one thing that you want to keep in mind when you're script writing is a set guide. Number 1, at the top of your page, wherever you're writing on, write the page number of that comic. So if it's page 1, if it's a splash page, write that in, splash page. Then you're going to go and break down the details of what's on it. The next thing you want to make sure that you have on there are your panel numbers. So on each page, you'll take your panel and you'll number it panel 2 and describe what's in it. You want to have, or you can label them as frames, but you're numbering each one so that way it stays organized. So the readers can read from top to bottom and your artist as well. Next one have captions. Captions would be your timestamps, your settings, any narrator dialogue that you want to add. Write that in there. Write that on the script. You want to remember to, when you're describing your panels, you're describing the character, what they're wearing, their emotions, their background, the setting, everything in words. If it's a blue chair and a blue house on a blue wall, you write that down. Next, and lastly, most importantly, dialogue, speech bubbles, word balloons. Who is talking? What are they saying? Because comics don't always have to have dialogue, but when it does, it's got to be right. And you don't want to drag on and have a whole 10-page paragraph of dialogue. Keep it anywhere between, I say, 20 words max. Over that, your bubbles get big and they need to be broken up, and then it's more bubbles and less pictures. And we like comics because they are pictures and stories together. Now, if you're making a standard floppy style comic or graphic novel, there are little details, little minutia that can help you create your script easier. The breakdown is for writing a single issue comic book or one issue of it. Number 1, each part of your outline can be an issue. So if you have 10 points in your outline, that could be 10 issues of your series. Or you can combine it and it could be 5, whatever. But let's start there. An issue is between, I've seen some as short as 4 pages, which, no, it's not a lot, but it still counts. It still counts. And then bigger ones, longer ones, anywhere from 20 to 30. So it doesn't have to be 100 pages. It doesn't have to be 900 chapters. It's all about that first issue, focusing on your opening outline point and focus in on getting those pages. Now, how do you break down those pages? We're going to break them down by scenes. Standard or average is anywhere between, I've seen 4 scenes all the way up to 7. Okay, our scenes. Brief interruption. We're back. Our scenes. Our scenes are anywhere from about 5 pages, right? So you break down as you're writing out your script. You have the title page, or the page number, right? Page 1. How many panels are listed on that page? This, between that, you're describing what's happening in the panel, your captions, your timestamp, your dialogue. And you do that for each page, and then you have your first scene done. Yay! Now, if you're feeling overwhelmed, here are some notes. 2 key words I've learned and that everyone uses. You can describe them any kind of ways, but let's keep it to the original text that I got. Intention and obstacle. Intention is an aim or a plan. The purpose. What is your character's goal? What is the purpose of this chapter? What is the purpose of this plot point? What is your character doing and why? Why are there teenaged, mutated reptiles in the sewers of New York fighting against organized crime? Why they do that? Why they know martial arts? That's your intention. The why. The what. Where. Next word, obstacle. A thing that blocks one's way or prevents a hurdle. This creates the drama in the story. If you don't have a drama, if you don't have something to pull the reader in to find out what's going to happen next, got to introduce that problem, the organized crime, the little girl breaking and entering. If you saw our last video, you know what I'm talking about. And so on and so forth. This obstacle is going to pull the character in and eventually become your story where problem solving. So, our teenage mutated reptiles are human size. Mutants ain't normal. Why we got that going on here? You know what I'm saying? So that detail is the obstacle. How do they fight crime, organized crime, in this crazy mixed up world? So, if we pick a fairy tale, this is our little example story. So, get cozy, ready, snuggly wuggly. If we take a fairy tale or a fable, The Little Red Hen, we've outlined the story, we've got the idea of the story, we're making our script. So, and later on in the video, I'll make sure to show you some examples of how I make scripts that'll kind of look, so you can see what I do. Because sometimes talking to you face to face isn't the same as if you could actually see it. So if you can see it, maybe that will help you in writing your script too. So, Little Red Hen. Our obstacle, wait, back it up. Our intention, what is the purpose? The red hen wants to make bread. The obstacle, red hen got to make bread by themselves. Red hen wants help. Help's not coming. Red hen's all alone. The streets is cold. Back it up, and sing. Okay? So, this is tension and obstacle. Essentially, you break it down, you stretch it apart, you write in all the details. What color is the hen? Where they at? Where is the farm? What color is the bread? How do they make the bread? You're writing all these details, okay? And that makes your script. We continue the script until we reach our character's goal. The hen gets the bread. Organized crime is done for We have what's our other one? The bears and the girl. The bears ate the girl. The girl don't go nowhere no more because she in the bear's stomach. Okay. But in summary of our script writing your comic turns your outline into the first draft of an amazing story. You've already got the outline, turn the outline into the story. It can look 100 different ways, but if you don't write it, you didn't write your comic. Writing the script helps you keep all your details in one place. It helps you formulate those details of your setting, your world, so you don't have a whole bunch of pictures laying about. It's all in Word format. You can bounce back and forth. So at this time, we're going to take a break and I'll show you my work, my examples, how I do my scripting. You ready? Number one, we have an outline or a script for an upcoming episode of Snack Time. All I took a back of an envelope and I just sketched out what I wanted to draw. It's simple, it's not crazy, it's not super detailed, but in my mind, I know the dialogue. It's a reference point in order to create an amazing comic. In example two, we have a chapter from my web comic, uh, soon to be graphic novel, maybe a comic book. I'm not sure, still figuring out. But this is from Noodle's Destiny. And we have on this side, I've physically drawn my panels, I have my pages, I've labeled my panels by letters, and I have a description of what's going on. And you see, there's not really a lot of dialogue, but if I do have dialogue, I put an initial for the character's name, and so on and so forth. And lastly, eventually I will learn to properly screen record. This is my newest baby. So what I did, I copied and pasted from my outline. Then I've rewrote my outline as a synopsis of what the main points. Basically, I turned my outline, chapter 1, into a miniature outline. I'm labeling my scenes. I know this is scene 1. From scene 1, I've got page 1. I'm describing what it is. So it's a splash page. That means it's only one panel. I've got my panel, my description, my dialogue, and some additional details for me to draw. And then we go into each single page thereafter, keeping the format the same with pages and panels, dialogue, and description. There are many different ways in which you can script your comic.